Okay, so this was back in November. Again, common post-trial motions: motion for a new trial, motion for judgment or acquittal. Those are the two motions that Jennifer Bonjean has filed. And back in November, the two issues, legal claims and grounds to go with that, was the tape, the video. Um, was it really produced for child P, or was it just, hey, escapade moment, escapade moment, like, and then also the testimony of Dr. Turner, um, who basically he represents underage victims, so he's like an expert to testify um, as to how grooming goes. But he basically misled or misstated some hourly pay on the stand, and the federal prosecutors never corrected it. And the jury heard all of that, so that's the issue. I don't think that's like really really huge, but it could definitely come into play. Whatever the case may be that you have to do for your client, you just have to throw them darts until one sticks. There is some legal errors, a lot of legal technical errors in this case. Okay. And recently, let's go ahead and not piggyback, let's go ahead and move forward to the February 4th filing. Yes. Okay. According to Courthouse News. This is an article written in Courthouse News. And again, I'm going to go over some excerpts of the article. Courthouse News, February 6th. It's a digital article online. Um, According to Courthouse News, Jennifer Bonjean filed another motion in court, not court, but she filed it electronically, obviously, as you can see. This one, okay, the second motion. Okay, here we go. The new motion is the second such filing attorney Jennifer Bonjean has made in the Northern District of Illinois. Senior U.S. District Judge Harry, this is the judge that presided over R. Kelly's case, Harry Weber, and I tried to pronounce that earlier, but the Ronald Reagan appointee, he was appointed by Ronald Reagan, okay, presiding over the case, has yet to rule on either of them. So this is the second motion. Remember, back in November, there was the first motion. And now this is the second motion Jennifer Bonjean has made on behalf of R. Kelly. Bonjean's last motion petitioning the court for a new trial. The latest filing claims a government witness. So in her new filing on February 4th, 2023, this is what Bonjean is citing, Attorney Bonjean is citing. The latest filing claims a government witness perjured themselves on the stand without federal prosecutors correcting their allegedly false statement. But while the prior motion dealt with the testimony of a relatively minor expert witness over the issue of such the government was paying him for his services, Saturday's filing, excuse me, now we're getting into Saturday's filing. Saturday's filing concerns the prosecution's star witness, Jane, Kelly's his goddaughter, who says she participated in several videotape scenes with the singer while she was only 14. I have to catch myself reading some of these articles because they're incredibly biased, and I don't think it's fair. If you're going to report and maybe they just do it for clicks or just for excitement or drama or whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, so the second motion on Saturday is based on R. Kelly's goddaughter, her I think her testimony. Okay, the site's defendant maintains that Jane's false testimony regarding restitution, ooh, 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 and the government failure to correct it denied defendant, who is R. Kelly, his due process right as well as his Sixth Amendment right to confront his accuser about matters that reflected on her credibility. Oh, that's Sixth Amendment. We're gonna get into that. And I'm working on the appeals case with alternatives, and I have Sixth Amendment on there, a possible alternative to his appeal, and I have the Sixth Amendment on there. Oh my gosh, this is just all just connecting and coming into fruition for me, and I haven't even put that out because it's in depth, and I don't want to really rush through when you get into the constitutional violations, and then that's an appeals video. So I just want to be really as accurate as possible, or transparent as possible. I'm not going to say accurate because everything is just not 100% with anything, but I just want to have bring the best possible information to you all correctly. But yeah. So, okay, Saturday's motion was because of his goddaughter, Jane, they call her Jane, her testimony that she made about regarding restitution. And I'm going to go over that paragraph in the motion. There's this, you see the motion on my slideshow. That's the motion. So it dives into that. Again, it's 8 pages. I'm not going over 8 pages. I'm just going to go over that first page. So Bonjean wrote in the new motion. On the stand last August, Jane told defense attorneys in cross-examination that she was undecided about whether she would seek restitution from the government in the event of Kelly's conviction. And again, this is from courthousenews.com. And it further states that, but Bonjean claims that by the time Jane testified, she had already worked with a legal team to put together a restitution package against the court to award her $20 million. Oh my gosh. She said, oh my God, but she was doing this way before. Ooh, okay. U.S. attorneys would later use this package, Bonjean claims, to argue that Jane is entitled to $13 million from R. Kelly. Jane's testimony was not truthful, which Jane's testimony was as the goddaughter, not truthful when she claimed she was undecided. She said she was undecided about whether she would seek restitution from R. Kelly, but she knew full well she was seeking restitution in an extraordinary amount if the defendant was convicted. The government knew it too, the motion states. Ooh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. And Bonjean further, according to courthousenews.com, further asserts and further cites to support her claim. Bonjean attached to the motion an affidavit from Boston-based attorney Christopher. Oh, Bonjean coming with facts, y'all. She coming with facts. Okay, from Boston-based attorney Christopher Brown, a managing member of the law firm Brown and Rosen LLC. Brown wrote in the document that he had charged Jane over $54,000 for his services, helping her negotiate immunity and restitution agreements with the government. His invoice claims that discussions over restitution dated back to April of 2020. And remember, she testified in September 2022. And remember, she testified and he got convicted in September 22. I think that's the same. Or how long was the trial? It was a trial over the summer. I don't know. But he got convicted. She testified in September 2022 in Chicago federal case. So Bonjean has an affidavit from another attorney that basically states that Jane Doe, the goddaughter, was and had and did negotiate immunity, and he billed her $54,000 immunity and restitution negotiations. He helped her. She hired him for that purpose. He represented her for immunity and restitution services in agreements with the government. His invoice claims that discussions over restitution dated back to April of 2020, before she testified in federal court. Now, if this judge, come on, Judge, I'm going to call him Judge Harry because that's his first name. Judge Harry, come on now. You seeing all this? Man, I would say, ooh, I'll give you guys my take towards the end. So stay tuned, stay connected, stay connected, stay connected. Okay. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Okay. So that's more than 2 years before Jane appeared in court. Like I said before, I didn't even get to that part, y'all. I didn't even get to that part. Woo! Okay. So there you have it. There you have it. The two motions filed. Remember the motion back in November. That was, remember, motion for a new trial, motion for judgment of acquittal. Those are the two post-trial motions. Again, this is a post-trial motion video for R. Kelly. These are common motions that are filed directly after a trial when there is a guilty verdict rendered by a judge or jury. In this case, it was rendered by a jury back in September. So this is common. The appeals is being worked. The appeals process is being worked. It hasn't been officially filed yet. Officially. So we're hoping, well, I'm hoping, I don't know about y'all, but I'm hoping this post-trial motion, because this post-trial motion is strong. Again, the post-trial motion is from November. And that, what was the legal claims for that Jennifer Longine cited? She cited about the video, and also too, and she wants all the charges to be thrown out too as well. She cited that the video wasn't produced, because that's what they're citing, and I think one of the convictions or all the convictions or something like that, was it produced specifically for child P? And because that's what the government is stating, like it was produced for that purpose, for and that is, to my understanding, it's alleged that that is not the case. So that's the first post-trial motion, and along with that first post-trial motion, the statements of Dr. Turner, what he was paid by the government. He stated one thing on paper, and on a stand it was something different. So yeah, he missed, either in the government did not correct him. However, but the smoking gun from what was just filed on February 4th, Saturday. And let me get into this. I'm going to go to the actual documents. Yes, I have it here, and you guys see it there. Again, I got this from courthousenews.com. Let me maximize my screen over here. It's an 8-page motion. And just to give you a little insight, I've read like 100+ page criminal complaint before, in one of my legal classes when I was in school. I'm a paralegal. I went through a paralegal program through an accredited college, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Honor student, yes, honor student, and I've always been fascinated with politics, history, the Constitution, law, and all of that stuff. But the concentrating area I'm in is more so civil, when it comes to mortgages, real estate, and all of that, title, foreclosures, all of that stuff. So that's just a little bit of background with me when it comes to that. It's the civil side. But I've taken several criminal law classes. Not several criminal law classes, a lot of criminal related classes while in the paralegal program, because I wanted to. I didn't have to. A lot of that stuff I didn't really have to take, but I did because I was just interested in it. So yeah, I took constitutional law, criminal law, rules of evidence. Oh my gosh. And then of course legal documents, drafting documents, all of that type of stuff. So, and what else? Oh gosh, so many different legal classes. Yeah. So, nevertheless, let me dive into this motion. It's an 8-page motion. Case number 119 CR 00567. Remember, when you see you see 19 right here, in the beginning of it, that's the top part of it. That means that the case, it was filed against R. Kelly. It started in 2019, which is true. That's when he was arrested in 2019. Okay, this was filed electronically. Looks like on February 4th, 2023. Okay, and it's the United States. This is the caption up top. Got the caption. So this is the United States. This is the jurisdiction. Then you have the judge who presided over the case. So this is a post-trial motion. Then you have the state, United States of America, because it's the federal case. So it will always be United States of America when it's federal, on the federal level. And then you have versus the defendant. So you have Robert Kelly, also known as R. Kelly, and then you have the other people, and I'm not really concerned about them. Whatever. And I know that part of it, but that's just not what I'm here for. Okay, so then you have here up top, you have your motion. And up here is usually states the up top, it usually states the case, the rules, not the case, the state, the rules, statute, all of that. So you have motion for a new trial pursuant to federal R, meaning federal rule, criminal um, P 33, where the government concealed impeaching evidence that Jane, wow, hire a legal and expert team for the purpose of seeking 13 million, Jane, which is his goddaughter, 13 million in restitution from defendant, and falsely testified about it at trial without correction from the government. This is an error. Like I tell you guys, like I told you guys, and you gotta color inside the lines. You can't, whether it be inadvertently, purposely, unconsciously, intentionally, you still, I don't care. Oh, my mistake. No. You're violating someone's rights. You're absolutely violating someone's rights. So no, it can't be, oh, my bad. No, this is someone's life. You have to color inside the lines. Color inside the lines, or there will be a strong appeal because you're violating someone's constitutional rights. Due process. Okay, let's get into the meat of this. Now comes the defendant, Robert S. Kelly, by and through his counsel, Jennifer Bonjean, and moves this court to grant a new trial where defendant's due process guarantees were violated, where the government's key witness, Jane, denied during her trial testimony that she had made a decision about whether she would seek restitution. Why did she? Woo! I know. I bet you. They didn't think that he would get this type of attorney. And Jennifer Bonjean, like I said before, when I did her credentials, the background on her, like who is she? Man, she is not just gonna take any case. Check her credentials, people. Check her credentials. Go to her website. Check her history. Man, she's a pit bull in the skirt, and I say that respectfully. Whew. Okay, back to this motion. In truth, Jane had already hired a lawyer and a team of experts. And remember, Jennifer Bonjean, she has the affidavit to prove it. And the affidavit was signed by the attorney who was hired by the goddaughter, Jane. He represented her in 2020. Restitution negotiations, immunity negotiation. She said this is clear. Wow, this is, oh my God. Okay, in truth, Jane had already hired a lawyer and a team of experts to prepare a restitution package for his court that the government presents in support of its claim that Jane is entitled to a whopping, look at the word she used, go, Jennifer Bonjean, whopping 13 million in restitution. Because the government knew Jane had hired, the government knew, the United States government knew Jane had, this is what this motion states, is citing per the motion. I'm reading the motion, the excerpts from the motion. Because the government knew Jane had hired a lawyer and expert team to create a restitution package for which Jane paid $55,000 that she seeks to pass along to the defendant. For which Jane paid $55,000 that she seeks to pass along to the restitution package, and failed to disclose this information to the defendant, and then failed to correct Jane's false testimony on the subject matter. You can't do that. Subject matter during her trial testimony. Defendant's due process rights under Brady, Gillo, and Napoo were violated, and he is entitled to a new trial. Oh, she cited the cases. So y'all go to the Brady case. Y'all go to Gilio and Napoo were violated. Let me go down here to the. She probably gave the state citations for them. She's citing a lot of cases, y'all. Oh, look at these cases she's citing. She's citing case law. That means you have to cite case law as your example to support your claim for your client. And again, let me repeat, I am not an attorney. I'm just fascinated by it. law, the legal process, the Constitution, all of that. And I'm just here to give my commentary, my opinion, all of that based on the information that's out here on the internet, through media outlets, and yeah. So Jennifer Bajin cited case law. Oh my gosh, United States versus have no right to directly appeal the defense. Dana Hurley, U.S. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm just reading this. I'm gonna read this actually over the weekend. Because I like I said, I like diving like deep into stuff like this. So she quoted, oh my God, I wasn't even supposed to go this far down. I said just that first page. So Jennifer Bajin quoted Napoo versus Illinois. Paragraph 6. Go to paragraph 6, you guys. You can see the case law she's citing. And she mentioned up top, and you mention that, and then you cite it below, and then you state that. That's how I had to do that in legal classes, y'all. Oh my gosh, it was so complex and difficult. Now it's like looking back now, I see what my instructors, and most of my instructors, like really, because it was an accredited program, were judges and sitting judges and active attorneys. So yeah, I was under their watch. I was under their direction. So I'm gonna go down to paragraph 6. Not only did Jane give false evidence, excuse me, not false evidence. Not only did Jane give false testimony, the government knew her testimony was false and failed to correct it in violation of Napoo versus Illinois. A second such violation on the part of the government, as Mr. Brown's billing records reflect, he began discussing restitution with the government in April 2020. And remember, Mr. Brown, her attorney, he signed the affidavit supporting this, basically. Well, not supporting it. I mean, it's the truth. It's an affidavit. He began discussing restitution back in April 2020. The attorney ain't even sit up here and lie. What? Well, I ain't gonna say he's gonna lie, but this Attorney Brown, is not gonna lie. He began discussing restitution with the government in April 2020, more than 2 years before Jane testified at defendant's trial, which she testified, Jane Doe, in 2022. So yeah, you guys, it's an 8-page motion. What are my thoughts? What do I believe is going to happen? It's going to take place. Well, in my opinion, you guys, it's just politics coming into play with this entire trial, from the New York trial. I think there's another case too somewhere else. Is it Detroit or Wisconsin? I don't know. I don't know what's up with that one. I just think in even the Illinois federal case, which is it, and he was just convicted of back in September, and then I'm surprised. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm surprised that the Chicago state case was dropped. In my opinion, Kim Foxx had no, she had no case. She had no case. And if you listen to Kim Foxx interview, Kim Foxx, when she dropped the charges against R. Kelly for the state case, Cook County state case, listen to her interview. And as I stated before, listen to the language and the words and the terminology they use. Like she said, he probably, because she knows, he probably will be spending the rest of his life in prison. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing. Probably. You're absolutely right, because she can't say he will. Because look at this post-trial motion in play. Look at the conviction. I mean, not conviction, the appeals that is in play. In the event this doesn't, the post-trial motions doesn't are not successful, look at it. Look at the appeals. This post-trial to me is super strong. And you know what? I think this is light work for Jennifer Bajin. I can only imagine what she got in the chambers pun intended, for the appeal, if it gets to that with the Chicago federal case. And again, I got to do some more digging about the to go into the New York federal case, but I hear that that's a jurisdiction issue. Just the charges in itself. Okay, so yeah. So in my opinion, there's just too much politics surrounding this. But any reasonable, fair, unbiased, competent, ethical judge will grant Mr. Kelly a new trial. Will throw this out. It will go in his favor. Again, any ethical, fair, unbiased, uninfluenced, if that's a word, judge will look at everything that's presented. Jennifer Bonjean has presented in her motions. We'll look at the facts. We'll look at the case law she cited. Any reasonable judge, reasonable and fair judge, looking at the law and all of these facts that counter what actually happened at trial and how it was prosecuted and all the narrative behind what, it will go in their favor. Again, with a fair judge, with an unbiased judge, with a reasonable judge, reasonable thinking judge, with a judge that's not influenced, with a competent judge who knows the law, who knows how to apply the law. Yeah. But, and I'm saying a big but, it's Illinois. It's political. This whole just seemed like cloud over this. It's political. And again, I'm not here to argue guilt or innocent. I'm here about what can be proved. That's the law. That's your American justice system. That's your American justice system. So in this case, did they prove that Mr. Kelly did ABC? Absolutely not. Look at all the technical and legal errors. Look at not color inside the line. Whether was it intentional or unintentional? It doesn't matter. It shouldn't have happened. It should not have happened. You can't, if you're prosecuting a case, like I said in my previous videos, you have to color inside the lines. Like I said, I had an attorney say to me, in place of employment, you know, I'm not gonna say he's a colleague or whatever, but just someone that was, business wise, and we just had like side conversations after we talked about what we were supposed to talk about on the phone. He just basically was stating like, telling me about this New York judge that he don't color inside the lines. And what does that mean? When you don't color inside the lines, that means that you're it's possible unethical. That your ethics is coming into play, whether it be intentional or unintentional. Your ethics is coming into play. That's an ethical question, big question mark over your head. So again, hopefully Judge Harry will do the right thing and grant this appeal. Not appeal, excuse me, because this is not the appeal, and grant these motions, post-trial motions. It will go in Mr. Kelly's favor. Motion for a new trial, or motion for judgment of acquittal. Hopefully it's granted based off the motions filed by post-trial motions filed by attorney Jennifer Bonjean. And even if they're not granted, like I said, it's up. Appeal is on the table, full force, steam, full force. And to my understanding, like the appeal process, it takes about 2 years, I believe, or more. It could take 2 years or more. And I say that because I do recall Bill Cosby. I think he was convicted in 2018, and then also based off of like information and research that I've done, Bill Cosby was convicted in 2018. And of course, immediately this team of attorneys filed an appeal. Jennifer Bonjean came on board, and his case was thrown out. His appeal was granted. He was released in 2021. So you got 2018, 19, 2021. So he was incarcerated for almost 3 years, or 3 years in prison. Mr. Cosby was on appeal, and he was going through the appeal process. So yeah. Hopefully it doesn't get to that with the Chicago federal case. I mean, he's already been convicted in the New York federal case. Again, I have to do a little bit more digging on that to see where they're at. If it's on appeal, I think the appeal was actually filed, whatever. But yeah. So there you have it. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I told you my thoughts. In my opinion, um, I believe any reasonable judge will grant it. Any judge that's unbiased will grant it. Any competent judge will grant these motions in favor of Mr. Kelly. I do believe any reasonable judge would do that, would do the right thing. But hey, it's Illinois. It's political. I mean, just read. read some of these stories for yourself. Go to the courthousenews.com and click on the motion yourself and just read through it. Read through it. Like I told you, I've read 100+ page criminal affidavit, quite a few of them. Criminal affidavit. So, it's a lot. It's a lot. I've read briefs before. I read the United States Supreme Court, their opinions, had to try to analyze them. And this, although I wasn't studying to become an attorney, but that was part of the class, the course assignments. And also I had to go sit in court and just observe. I encourage anyone, wherever you're at, I don't know how it is post mandates or the CV or whatever, but I know before that, this public, you have a right. We're taxpayers. You have a right. Taxpayers, citizens, you vote, even if you don't vote, whatever. You go to court, it's public, it's open to the public. And just sit there and follow a case. Go back. If you have the time, follow a case, you can. I had to do that for class, So, and hey, just say, I'm just here for information purposes, So yeah, just get to know the process, how things go from beginning to end. It's very interesting, very interesting. But let's get the conversation going, you guys. Let's get it going. Again, I'm not an attorney. I am not like an expert, but I am knowledgeable. I'm just bringing to you my commentary, my opinions, whether it be subjective or objective, all of that, to this subject matter. This is the mix. I'm coming to you with a mixture of topics, discussions from all types of areas. I'm multifaceted, and hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get the conversation going. What do you think? Do you think the post-trial motions will be granted? Hopefully a decision is made before February 23rd, which is R. Kelly's federal sentencing date here in Illinois. Or, do you believe the appeal process will officially have to start because of Judge Harry if he denies these two motions? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the legal grounds Jennifer Bongine is citing on behalf of her client, R. Kelly? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think this is legit? Strong legal grounds. I think it's strong legal grounds, but I just think that this is light work for Jennifer. Attorney Bongine. I can just imagine if Judge Harry does not grant these post-trial motions, what she has in her arsenal. What she has in her arsenal on behalf of Mr. Kelly for the appeals courts, which will be filed in, I think, the 7th district. So stay tuned. I'm still working on the grounds for appeals video. And I'm dealing with the Constitution and all of that, and just a couple examples here and there. That's probably going to be a 2-part video, but yeah. So again, let's get the conversation going. What are your thoughts on the post-trial motions? Again, this is customary with what any defense attorney would do after a guilty verdict is rendered against his or her clients. And it's up to the trial judge to grant it or deny it. And if it's denied, the appeal goes into full force. Full force. So let's get the conversation going, you guys. Let's engage one another. Thank you all for tuning in. I was excited about this when I saw what I saw. I'm like, okay, I started searching, like, okay, what's going on with R. Kelly? I'm like, February 4th, Jennifer Rajin filed what? Ah, February 4th? February 4th was over the weekend. Electronic filing? What? Oh, what? What? This is the actual file document? Oh, okay, I got it. Woo, yes. So yeah, so let's get the conversation going, you guys. Read the motion for yourself. Again, it's on the courthousenews.com website, which I think the article was posted on February 6th. So yeah, again, I just read some excerpts from that. This is not legal advice, none of that. Just a disclaimer. I'm just giving my commentary, my review, and my reaction to all of this. So thank you all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. Like, share, subscribe. Continue to share this video, and more content on R. Kelly's cases will be coming to you. Thank you guys for tuning in to the mix. I appreciate you, and I thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Talk to you all soon. Bye.